The city buzzed with ambition, but in one quiet corner, a humble single dad struggled to make ends meet. Jason, a widower, juggled 2 jobs while caring for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Despite the exhaustion etched into his face, he never let despair show, only kindness and patience. One rainy morning, as Jason waited for the bus with Lily, he noticed a sleek black car skid dangerously close to the curb. Without hesitation, he lunged forward, grabbing Lily just in time. The woman in the car, drenched and shaken, looked at him with a mixture of fear and gratitude. She was Isabella, a CEO known for her sharp business acumen and unapproachable demeanor. Grateful yet puzzled, Isabella insisted on compensating him, but Jason politely declined, muttering, "I just did what any dad would do." Something about his sincerity struck her. Over the next few days, she found herself thinking about that moment, the selflessness in his eyes, the calm assurance in his voice. Curiosity led her to visit the small cafe where Jason worked evenings. She watched him serve customers, laugh with Lily, and handle chaos with unwavering grace. The realization hit her. Here was a man whose kindness wasn't performative. It was genuine, a rare treasure in a world that often celebrated wealth over humanity. By the end of the week, Isabella had made a quiet decision. She wanted to know him, not as a CEO, but as someone who had taught her an unexpected lesson in humility, courage, and the quiet power of love. Isabella couldn't shake the image of Jason's calm bravery. That weekend, she returned to the cafe, this time as a customer. She watched him juggle trays, soothe upset children, and laugh with regular patrons who clearly adored him. Lily ran circles around him, her giggles filling the small space with warmth. Isabella realized something striking. Jason's world was small, modest, but overflowing with love. Curiosity soon turned into admiration. She began visiting more often, learning small details about his life, how he helped neighbors fix broken fences, tutored kids after school, and always prioritized Lily's happiness over his own fatigue. One afternoon, while Jason recounted a funny mishap at the park, Isabella laughed genuinely, feeling a rare sense of connection. But the twist came unexpectedly. During a casual conversation, Jason mentioned he had been saving money quietly for Lily's future. Isabella, who had been so used to people expecting handouts or favors, realized he had been living a life of integrity and sacrifice without ever asking for recognition. She was stunned by the depth of his selflessness. Her admiration deepened into something she hadn't anticipated, emotional attachment. She felt drawn to his honesty, his warmth, and the quiet dignity with which he faced life's challenges. It was a world away from the cutthroat boardrooms she knew, yet somehow, she felt more alive here than anywhere else. By the end of the day, Isabella knew she wanted more than fleeting interactions. She wanted to understand his world, to support it, and perhaps, in her own way, become part of the love that held it together. Little did she know, Jason harbored a secret that, when revealed, would change both their lives forever. Days passed, and Isabella's visits became a comforting ritual. She noticed the little things, Jason's tired smile, the way Lily clung to him after school, and the quiet sacrifices he made without a word of complaint. Then one afternoon, as she helped him clean up after a rush of customers, she noticed a stack of carefully folded papers tucked in his bag. Curiosity got the better of her. "What's this?" she asked gently. Jason hesitated, then sighed, realizing it was time to share. "It's a college fund for Lily," he admitted. "I've been saving quietly, working extra shifts and cutting back on everything else. I want her to have opportunities one never had." Isabella's heart tightened. She had expected struggles, but not this level of selflessness. Every choice he made, every extra hour he worked, was for someone else, and he never sought recognition. The humility in his actions was almost overwhelming. That evening, as they walked Lily home in the soft glow of streetlights, Isabella finally understood the full extent of his dedication. She also realized she had fallen for him, not because of grand gestures or wealth, but because of the depth of his character. Jason's secret wasn't just money saved, it was the embodiment of hope, sacrifice, and undying love for his child. For Isabella, the revelation was transformative. She felt a surge of admiration, respect, and something deeper, an undeniable connection to a man who had shown her that true heroism often wears no cape. As they stood at Lily's doorstep, Isabella reached out, lightly touching Jason's hand. "You're incredible," she whispered. And in that simple acknowledgement, she knew this was only the beginning of a story either of them could have predicted, a story where kindness, love, and secrets intertwined to change everything. Isabella couldn't stop thinking about Jason. His quiet courage, his unwavering devotion to Lily, and the selfless sacrifices he'd made tugged at her heart in ways she hadn't expected. She realized that admiration alone wasn't enough. She wanted to help, to honor the life he had built with such humility. The next morning, she returned to the cafe early, carrying a small envelope. "Jason," she said softly, "I want to help. Not because you need me, but because I see how much you've given to Lily. You shouldn't have to do it alone." Jason's eyes widened. "Isabella, I can't accept." She smiled, gently cutting him off. "Just accept it as a token of respect. For the man who does so much for others without asking for anything." Inside the envelope were resources for Lily's future, college funds, extracurricular programs, and even a scholarship plan she had arranged. Jason was speechless. No one had ever acknowledged his efforts with such kindness, without strings attached. For the first time in years, he felt seen, not for what he had, but for the love and dedication he poured into his daughter's life. That evening, as they walked home, Lily ran ahead, oblivious to the weight of the moment. Jason watched her laugh, his heart swelling, while Isabella fell into step beside him. They didn't need words. The quiet understanding between them spoke volumes. It was in that moment Jason realized that sometimes, kindness returns in ways you never expect. Isabella's gesture wasn't just help, it was recognition, respect, and a seed of hope. And for Isabella, seeing Jason's genuine gratitude and unwavering love for Lily ignited a feeling she couldn't ignore. She wanted to be part of their life, not as an outsider, but as someone who could share in their joy, their struggles, and the beautiful simplicity of a family built on love and trust. Weeks passed, and the bond between Isabella, Jason, and Lily deepened naturally. Isabella wasn't just visiting anymore, she was part of their daily life, sharing laughter, responsibilities, and quiet moments that revealed the true beauty of ordinary love. Yet Jason still carried a quiet hesitation. He wasn't used to letting anyone in, especially someone so extraordinary. One afternoon, as they celebrated Lily's birthday at the small park near their apartment, a surprise awaited them. Isabella had organized a small gathering, neighbors, friends, and even a few colleagues from her company who had quietly contributed to a scholarship fund in Lily's name. Jason watched, stunned, as everyone cheered and handed Lily gifts meant to brighten her future. Tears welled in his eyes, not for the presents, but for the recognition of his sacrifices, and the proof that acts of kindness do return in unexpected ways. He realized he didn't have to carry the weight of the world alone anymore. Isabella had not only seen him, she had amplified his love for Lily, transforming it into something tangible, something celebrated. As the sun set, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and gold, Jason turned to Isabella. "You've changed everything," he whispered. She smiled, her eyes shining with warmth. "No, Jason. You've always been remarkable. I just helped the world notice." In that moment, a new chapter began, not defined by wealth, titles, or status, but by genuine human connection, selflessness, and love. Isabella, Jason, and Lily stood together, a family forged not by circumstance, but by choice, kindness, and the courage to open their hearts. Sometimes, the greatest miracles come quietly, in the form of simple acts of love. And sometimes, those acts lead to a life more extraordinary than anyone could imagine.